All right, this video we're going to do our style our link divs right here. If you go back to our HTML, and we have a box called links. See the whole thing? And then inside we have three boxes called link 1, link 2, and link 3, which have headers in them, also paragraphs with a class of text, and then a paragraph at the bottom class of learn more, with a hyperlink in the middle inside of it, and each one has its own text inside the hyperlink. All right, so let's go back over here to CSS and look at this code. It's fairly simple. Where was it? Right here. I put in a comment there, just telling myself for later future reference that I'm going to start the link divs right here. Let's see here. I'm going to style the entire div here called links, and that's this entire thing. So it's going to give some code to all of it. Width is going to be 100% of the screen, so from this point all the way over to this point. I'm putting a position of relative. I'm giving it a text align of center, so every element inside of the links div will have a text align of center to its parent. In other words, this text here will be aligned to the center of wherever I put that H2. Same with these paragraphs. The text inside the paragraph will be aligned to the center of wherever I put the paragraph and the size of the paragraph. Margin on top is -90. What I want this box to do is shift up above and in front of just a little bit this picture here. Okay, I thought that looked kind of neat. We can change that as we want it to be changed, but down here now we're going to give some general code to every div inside of the div links, and so that's going to affect this div, this one, and this one. Oops, wrong button. Let's see here. Display is going to be inline table. Now with displays, you can go on W3 School's website and look at all the options there are for displays. Sometimes on the displays I have to try different ones. The inline tables seem to work the best for this. Good, and there's a reason. You'd think, why can't we just put this code right here down in here? There's a reason for it, and so leave this separated up here, because this is going to affect all the divs inside of the links div. You say, well, this is doing the same thing down here. Link 1, link 2, link 3, that's all the divs. So you're given code down here that really is doing the same as up here. But there's a reason for it. Later on you'll find out why. So keep this separate from this code. All right, and the margin is going to be 15 pixels around each one of these divs. So there's going to be 15 pixels on all four sides of it, which means between this div and the next div, there's going to be 30 pixels between them. And so you have the right margin on the first one and the left margin on the second one, both 15 pixels. Now we go down here to this block of code. I'm styling really essentially every div inside that links. Link 1, link 2, link 3. Position is relative to its parent. Width of it is 25%. So however, remember the parent was 100% wide, so that's the width of the entire browser. 25% of that, the width of that browser then is going to be the width of each one of these boxes. Giving it a height of 340 pixels, a static height for all three of them. Here is that code again for the gradients, and I just copied this off of that gradient generator. Here's the box shadow code, and I think it's all the same as was used for this top menu bar. So you can just copy and paste that. The next is I'm going to style the headers for each one of these divs, giving a color of white, font size, font weight is there's you can go in and look at the different options there are for font weight. And this one is bolder. I want it pretty much as bold as it can be. And then I'm giving a border on the bottom because I want this text right here, Sunday services, the Bible, and media, to have an underline underneath of it. And that's just going to give me a border on the bottom of 1 pixel solid white. Now we're going to style the paragraphs with a class of text. And the reason I used a class here is because, well, for instance, in the first div, I have 2 paragraphs with that class. In the second div, I have 2 paragraphs with that class. But in the third one, I only have 1. So I can have as many paragraphs as I want in each one, and they'll all get styled by 1 block of code. Color's going to be white. Again, the font size is 17 pixels, a little bit smaller than the H2s, and font weight is lighter than the H2. The header, see here. The margin bottom is going to be 20 pixels, and so it's going to always have a margin at the bottom of 20 pixels. And that's to account for, to give this learn more div just a little bit of space so the words aren't overlapping it. Now let's go to link 1 with the anything inside the link 1 with the class of learn more. So technically I could probably have more than 1 paragraph of learn more in here. Right now I only have 1 in each div. Position is relative. I got a border all the way around it of solid white, and then I have a border radius which is going to round the corners of that border 10 pixels. Now bottom and right, it's going to scoot this thing all the way to the bottom 5 pixels over here, 5 pixels off the bottom of its parent, and then 5 pixels off the right. Okay, so it's going to be all the way at the bottom right corner. 5 pixels off the right, 5 pixels off the bottom. That's what we want for that. And then the padding inside, that's between the border and the text, is going to be 5 pixels. And then the hyperlink. I'm styling the hyperlink, and by default hyperlinks are blue in color. Until you've clicked on them, then they turn like a pinkish red color. I just want them to be white all the time. And then also I don't want any underline under them. I don't want the default underline underneath of hyperlink. Just text decoration to none. Alright, when I think that's already saved, let's go here and refresh it. And there it is. Good, so that did exactly what we wanted it to do. And as we get smaller or larger, you can see how they stay at 25% of the width of the screen. As we get smaller, you can see how they're going to change and do some crazy stuff. We'll fix that later. Right now, we have everything like we want it. All right.